I want to move into our quality of life section here.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit before because we just talked a whole lot about not losing things and all the efforts being made to not losing things. But there are other major quality of life things. It's social.
Yeah.
It's social. The
We
ability.
just had this conversation the other day. The social things in Star Citizen, sometimes it gets frustrating, especially when you have a bigger party and you're trying to do things. It does get frustrating.
To group with people, the ability to communicate with people, the
Accept
ability
friend requests.
not to communicate with people, the ability to just be like, oh hey, that's a bad person. That's a
Can
bad
I just
person with bad
knock?
thoughts and
Yeah,
bad intentions.
exactly.
And boop, boop, and kick them into
Gone.
the pit from 300.
Sure.
And whatnot. Never to see or hear from that person again.
Ever again.
The all the tools for joining up. Finally, people have been creating and managing orgs on our website since 2013.
Yeah. Yeah. 13.
And this is 2026, and those orgs still not in game.
Correct. What are we doing?
It's
Oh yeah, I just realized orgs aren't in game. If you're in an org, it's not in game. You only know by your affiliation outside of game and on Spectrum. Like I would like a org hangout where you can like designate a space that's an org hangout and it's got your banner on it and everything.
we're reenacting a little play because Benoit and I have had this conversation almost verbatim for a little time. I'm just doing the conversation we had in private for you guys right now. So my question, Benoit,
Yeah.
friend, person whom chat has dubbed brother, my brother,
From another mother.
when, Benoit, when, please, dear God in heaven above or down below, who do I have to talk to?
Sure.
Give me something.
Good.
Social.
Yeah. Well, so a social universe, right? The last
Yes.
panel that we did at CitizenCon, that outlines the vision of what we want to do with social. Now, with the year that we just had, we had to take a little bit of a detour on that initial plan, but right now we have completely formed the social strike team, and so.
Okay, so there's a
the
team
heroes
working on it.
right?
Okay.
The social strike team, its only mission is to execute this plan, right? And so,
Right.
So I don't bury the lead. There is now an official dedicated
Team working on,
social
yeah.
strike team, yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's
and so
good.
this group is currently looking at all of the components that make up the social systems now, right? Fortunately for us, the work didn't stop on this side, even though we couldn't enact the changes in the game. On the back end side of things, there's been a lot of progress on social. And so even though the systems look primitive in game, their capabilities have grown quite a bit, even in 25.
It's just not using them yet.
So we do have a block list that we leverage now. It's simplistic.
So there is a
but,
block
because
list.
we didn't have the UI resources to do it completely. But moving into this strike team, right, covers all areas of social. So the plan is to go into 4 different pillars for it. So the first order of business is the Comlink app. So the Comlink app is like one of the oldest mobi-glass application we still have. It's kind of an eyesore because it's like
It's so basic, just boxes, everything. It looks messy and it feels messy. And you have like 20, 30 different freaking parties you have to click out of. Oh, bro, it's nasty.
Dark's, goes to futures past. It's like from 2000, I want to say 1918 at this point, style-wise. Very old technology, still use the legacy even UI framework that we had in the game. So we're completely eliminating that tab. We're bringing in forward the social application that we've shown at CitizenCon.
Oh, okay, so that's going to be gone, right?
So replacing that chat widget, right? So the entire chat experience in the game, we're completely overhauling this from the top at the moment. So we're right in the process of changing that.
So it's coming
hooking it up to the
soon.
new systems.
Right.
Revamping things like social notifications. Currently in our mobi-glass, we only have one kind of level of notification, which is like ultra important. So to have a proper social experience, you need to have these like system
different,
updates, system notifications, like someone joins, someone leaves, whatever. looking at things like combat log and all the stuff that we've looked at in the social universe panel. So we're actively building this now, and that's going to be the first. We don't know. I'm not going to say which patch is going to land in. But our schedule is twofold. There's a content patch schedule and there's a feature schedule.
Maybe
The features have
4.8,
to be-
hopefully.
need to have leeway because it depends on where they're going to land. But that's going to be the first update to social. Will be Comlink app, right? So rich party information, friend foe tracking.
Yeah, we do need that because it's like it's so hard to get in contact with people on the verse. It's so hard, and you have to sometimes you have to leave the server you're in, go back to the main menu just to get a party working, and sometimes you don't get your notifications, and it's really messy. I normally play most of my gameplay is solo, but I've been playing with the org. We just made a new org, and we're kind of doing some sessions together once in a while. And it's just when we get to a party, it's so annoying trying to just get everything to work right and get people into the party, and it's really, really annoying. So the fact you're looking at it, that's a big thing.
So we're working on this right now actively.
For a 2026 release.
Yes, I knew it. It's
Yes.
coming soon.
I mean,
It's going to be coming soon.
Like you mentioned, it's kind of urgent at this point.
Yeah, no, it definitely is urgent.
This will automatically roll into the next. No, keep your dad here. Come on. On the next milestone for the social strike team is going to be looking at the party finder mechanic, right?
Right.
Which
Okay.
basically allows you to
find a party?
advertise your party, and
That is something that every single MMORPG has. If someone is out there and they're doing bounties and they need more people, because you see people always saying either looking for a group or looking for members to join their group. And it's like, if you can let us advertise our party, we don't even need to say it in the global. They just go on the party finder and they'll say a group and they'll say gameplay, and it's going to be like cargo, FPS, dogfighting, whatever it is. And someone can just join because they know that in this party, what we're doing is we are going to be running bounties. We're going to be running cargo, and they can just join and everyone is just going. Yeah, it's going to make things so much simpler.
and get people to join in. Like, let's say you're looking for a gunner and some
Exactly.
guys for your mission, then you can advertise that. If you're looking for friends to go do a specific event, you can do that as well.
And it will help
So
people
Party
who
Finder,
don't want to
we're
do
hoping
things
is gonna be a way
alone.
for you to find friends on a given shard really rapidly. Also tie that in with your friendship and your contacts, so that will be we're building on the first release, which will have now friend and foe tracking into that, and so that's going to be super interesting. That's the second system we want to bring in.
Right.
And then obviously number 3 of 4, right, is the org system. And so
Yeah,
in
we
that
need the org
space, we're
system
taking the orgs on the website from 2013,
and putting them
and we're,
on into the verse.
moving them completely. Obviously, the technology we used to build that in 2013 are obsolete. They're, it's a really old system. So we're bringing all of this data back into a game service to manage orgs, to surface that obviously game side. So now have org management screens.
I don't mind being able to manage them on both sides, both game side and online on the browser side. I didn't mind that at all. I feel like that's actually a really nice aspect.
Have your organization chat in the game, and then actually be able to create your organization from the game as well as surface it outside. So that's like,
Okay, right.
now orgs are in the game. That's the first.
Right. We need both
That's the
sides.
whole name, and then the org. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And this will probably, we're still having internal discussions about how that surfaces. In our game, nothing is, always set in stones, but, probably going to tie into FPS, scanning radar,
FPS
additions to
scanning?
when you fly
They're
your ship
talking
to
about
identify
it, they're
others
talking
with
about it.
scanning. And so the orgs will be part of that. That's it. Visibility in game, chat in game for your orgs, actually have.
I do feel like they shouldn't put like a name tag on you. Like, let's say you have your player name. I feel like that's okay. But putting your org tag, I don't think they should do that, because it's kind of like in real life. If I'm driving past someone in their car, I don't know where they work and I don't know what org they're like in. I just know that they look like they're coming from work or whatever. I don't know where they work at. So I don't feel like you should put the org name, because that's just, it's so stereotypical in like MMORPGs and things. And it's like, it doesn't always make sense. I don't need to know all this information unless I really interact with the person. I become friends with this person. Then it shows me their orgs when I'm looking at the friends panel, but not just running around in game, because it's like, it gives room for, let's say, pirates or whatever to do targeted assaults on people. Oh, this person is this org. You see this org name, you always attack them. And it's really, I feel like there's a level of where you have to keep it like a little bit anonymous of what org you're in, unless you're like at a certain event where you have to show your org or something. I feel like there has to be like a middle ground there.
Having your organization communications.
Yeah, that's a whole nother series of conversations. Weighing immersion versus running around and seeing it burns when I PvP
Yeah.
above people's heads. It's like,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
Let me solo her.
just
What? Let me solo her. Where did you get that one from?
fun fact, I got to write the original guidance at Blizzard for that back in 2004 for World of Warcraft. Yeah, I got to make the original list of, these are examples of really bad guild names to train game masters way back when.
Cool.
Chat, you've been saying it. It's next on the list.
Yeah.
VoIP.
Yeah.
VoIP, if you're doing all this stuff, VoIP,
We're looking at VoIP.
such an important element.
Sure. It's all
Yup.
part of it.
So we don't need
Graham tells me
Discord.
it's entirely your fault.
Graham is, I don't want to say it.
Graham did not say that. He heavily implied it, though.
So VoIP, we're doing improvements there on the backend side of things. So VoIP is mainly, right now heavily affected by the shard size. So the original design for this was really made for the 100 servers. And so we haven't had a chance to go
To
back
upgrade it,
there at
right,
all.
right.
As part of this work, this team is also going to look at the infrastructure for voice transmission.
What I need is, I need it to work a little bit better, because sometimes I want to tell some people their drip looks nice. So I want them to be able to hear me properly. And I also want to be able to send a transmission to another ship. If I'm going by, if I want to just talk to someone on a ship somewhere, I get to send a transmission and actually talk to them. That would make the immersion bang on.
We're going to try to, make it scale to the proper thing. So one element that we're talking about on chat and comms is that we're probably going to be moving away from the server chat. So what the original, global 600 player chat. And
Oh,
move
so
it
it's
to regional chats like a true MMO, so that
Okay.
it's tied to the region that
To
you're
where
at.
you are.
Multiple
Ah.
channels for that, and so VoIP will also be affected by that because it also powers proximity chat, and so proximity voice. Sorry, so we're looking at voice transmission.
That
from the
makes
top
it
to the
more
bottom. We're
realistic, to be
changing
honest.
The whole backend. We're also like out of this. There's also some movement on player reporting for bad behavior. So not just blocking, which is
Oh, you
it's
can report
something
players
that
on the
we have now,
fly.
but that we
Ooh.
want to expand on, but also like player reporting for other players that are, either bad behavior, profanity in chat, things like that.
What is bad behavior and what is profanity? Are we going to police this like we are a bunch of babies, or are we going to say that we are all grown adults, and even if it's going to be some young adults playing and there's going to be a level of profanity, or are we going to police everything? Because over policing things and shutting people up all the time isn't always the best approach to things. I feel like there's a level of free speech where it's like you should have a level of free speech, but like when it comes down to things where you're talking about people's families, when it comes to racism, genders, and all, I feel like those things are kind of like, okay, we have to heavily police those. But apart from those, can someone say the F word? Can someone call you a bastard? Can they say shit? And can they say things that are just a little bit like not safe for work or things like that? I feel like there's a very fine line with organic chat and policed chat, and it's like people might report, like let's say someone is a PvPer and they see someone somewhere, they PvP them, and then this person reports them, and then they get their friends to report them who are on the server, and then someone gets reported falsely. How do we then deal with false like reports? Because you get 10-20 reports all in a row. Sometimes there's no way to go around it but just block the person, so I feel like there's going to be some holes in that.
Obviously, we don't at CIG don't have a large moderation team in game. So we're going to need some automated help there that will come and clean up some of these elements. So we're trying to really tackle communications from
Because
the top.
automated as well might make a lot of mistakes based on data.
There's not ever losing an item. Shout out to gameplay engineering director Jens. That was his major one, and then
that was his coin.
that was his one. So not losing things.
Yeah.
Social tools. We'll throw VoIP in with social tools.
Chat, party finder, orgs is what we're going in order.
As far as major quality of life, I want to ask you, you personally, I'm allowed to say things personally sometimes. I do it often on my live shows. Benoit, I want your personal thing. What is your big bugaboo? What is your big quality of life?
Let's fix this.
Bugaboo, the thing.
So personal.
Yeah.
I've got 2. I've added 1.
God dang, you got 2.
Scope creep.
Yeah. I would say for me, in terms of quality of life, I love to play the game in a kind of a larger setup. So I have a kind of a flight seat that I like to operate to play the game.
Your
13
sticks?
devices connected to the game.
Yes, I knew he's going to talk about managing bindings. People hate the bindings on Star Citizen. Even controller, trying to get the game binded on controller for a lot of people who don't want to do mouse and keyboard is insanity.
And so that's my pet peeve. If there was one thing that I could do for my own game experience, like other than like the in-game elements, it would be completely control bindings. Currently we rely on device order for some things, and so like literally you need to have like a kind of almost a common order for the devices on your machine. Sharing these profiles is very difficult. Being able to bind onto multiple devices, to really benefit from that. Being able to bind on multiple, like the same action on multiple devices. For me is
you
super
see, all of that is why I'm just sticking to mouse and keyboard. I do want to get sticks in the future, but I'm just like, that is a whole lot of work, gang. I ain't gonna lie.
key, right? So that would be my absolute personal thing, quality of life to solve, would be device handling in general.
And you're announcing you've created a hero strike team for this.
No, I
To
wish
get
I
it
could
done.
just do that, but it'd be cool,
So that's not something coming soon.
Well, there is work being done on the control systems, right? But not that I could say.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's urgent. Yeah, I don't think it's urgent. Doesn't sound like an urgent thing.
There's a lot of work there.
But if I got to redo it every patch?
Yeah.
Oh wait, people have to redo their keybinds every patch? I don't. I put the stuff on my mouse and like my flares and things. I never have to rebind them. So if you're doing like the sticks, you got to rebind it every single patch. That's crazy.
So
Saving them, cloud save across machines would be great, right? Yeah, exactly.
talk dirty to me, Benoit.
I mean, it's the kind of thing where like I do maintain a couple of rigs at CIG, and people are always changing bindings. But the problem is I can't reapply my bindings because it's not the system anyway.
So there are sim pits in the office. There's sim pits in just about every office at this point, aren't there?
Yes.
Yeah. And Benoit.
Yo, I
as if
want
he
to be
didn't
on the
have
sim
enough
pit,
to do.
man.
It's his little pet project. He's intricately involved in them. It's every time I come by and he's at a sim pit, I'm like, you have more important things to do. He's like,
You know what I want? If the world was just perfect and I had money and I was in a brokey, I would like to literally have a sim pit that's like right beside my setup. And every time I get into a ship, I can literally just stand up off this seat and get into another seat, press a button, all the cameras change, and we're now in the sim pit. So it's like I'm actually getting up and going into my ship and coming off my ship when I land. That would actually be the coolest thing ever. Oh my God, it would be so beautiful.
So my second one for inside the game is that I've always found in general like like mission chains is a thing that I feel our gameplay is always one dimensional, right? Like
Yes. Oh my goodness. Did a CIG dev just say, one of the top devs just say what I've been saying, that everything feels like very surface level and one dimensional, and we need more. We just need more. There needs to be more when you're doing these. CIG, bro, SIG is actually, this is outstanding. They're saying the things we're saying. Wow. They know.
And you finish it. Missions. So I know because I know of things, right? I know we're working on an updated mission system.
you're talking about the limitations of the existing missions.
The
You're not talking
limitations.
about the quality of the work of the people that
No,
are working on these
no.
things.
No,
You're talking about the
it's so
tools that they have to
linear.
work
The
with.
system around it doesn't allow us to do these massive quest chains, right?
Yes, exactly. I like doing quest chains.
Because you could go onto a long adventure that takes you across multiple things, and so
Elliot Maltby was about to be on the corner of the building.
I know
with
he's
a high-powered
calling me
rifle.
right now.
You're talking about the tools that our mission
To enable
is
these
available.
guys, exactly. And for me, that's like a big quality of life because I feel you can go on a longer adventure. And I think
Yes, that's the thing. It's like when I'm going on an adventure right now, let's say I'm going bunker running, it's like it's annoying having to keep setting the same mission. If there was like a big quest line you could do where it's like they send you on multiple locations, like it says, oh, protect site, you can do the protect site that costs 44K, or you can do a protect site that costs 250K, where they're sending you to multiple locations. You land, you protect, you leave, you land, you protect, you leave, and it's just like I can just say that's my game session was I spent an hour and a half doing protect site missions, and I just took one mission and they send me to multiple places. Kind of like the way they do, if they did, not the way they do the patrol missions now, where they send you to like different locations, kind of like that, but for everything else. Like, keep sending me to different places, like make me have multiple stops and things. I want to do things like that. Some things just feel like they're just one dimensional. You have to continuously keep taking more missions, you know. And the only things that I've seen that's like not being one dimensional are the sandbox activities like Hathor, the Stormbreaker, things like that. That's where like, okay, it's a continuous thing. I want to see more of those kind of elements in the game.
Big quality of life overall.
Okay. I think that's, I know that that's one that a lot of people would comment on. I mean, what they're doing within the tool set that they've had for so long.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about a little bit of why that, well, maybe not why, but we can acknowledge that the tool set that was originally developed was not robust enough. It was not in line with the directions of a proper MMO.
Right.
It's no.
I think people have told me recently that Star Citizen started on the CryEngine, the Crisis engine, and it was basically built on a single player engine that wasn't meant for multiplayer gameplay. So I guess everything that was originally built wasn't meant for multiplayer and not persistent MMO universe kind of thing. So I feel like that's where a lot of the issues are coming from, was the fact that they built on a single player engine.
It's a mission system that can't give you a reward for doing something. Like we built the first version of the mission system where you do a thing, you achieve a goal, and we can't hand you a thing.
Right.
In your mind. And that it's, I'll just use that simple example as a coloring of the limitations of the existing mission system for however that was built and why that was built and who that was built and everything.
But is that a problem, guys? Is that a problem? I feel like you shouldn't be handed a thing for completing a mission. Like, I've always felt like that was a little bit like weird in MMOs. Like, maybe if you do a really hard mission or something very special, they send you something, they send you a gift. Let's say, just say a gift. They send you a gift to like your home station. To where we now get the MG scripts and all those kind of things. I feel like that makes sense. The way if you do a mission for Wicklow, he gives you things. I feel like that all makes sense. But let's say I do a bunker run or whatever, I don't want to be given anything. Like, what are you going to give me? Unless they give me more ammo or whatever and they send it to my home station. Like, I don't feel like everything has to be you get a actual physical reward for doing missions. The currency and it's kind of enough for me, you know?
We've made changes internally to fix it. We've made changes internally to adjust it, to replace it. It's currently underway. What they've managed to do with the limitations has been stellar. I was just seeing stats about this, the event that's on right now. The event that's on right now, built with the existing system, built with the limitations, has our highest concurrency in the last 2 years outside of an Invictus or an IAE. So it's like
The event is, it's really doable.
they're doing tremendous work.
Yes.
They're
Really,
doing
really
tremendous
doable
work
right
with the tools that they have.
Yes.
We've got to unlock those tools.
That's exactly right.
We've got to
It's
unlock
exactly,
the tools for them.
That's, for me, that's the quality of life update.
Because if they can do this with that, imagine what they could do if they could actually chain these things together and segment them off and have one continue after another and stuff like this. So
Exactly. And tie into reputation, economy, you know, so that it actually is one big loop, right?
let's talk about some features currently in development.
Sure.
Crafting.
Yeah.
Tech preview just
crafting.
happened recently. How's that going?
Good, actually. I mean, I don't want to say surprisingly good because the team did amazing work on it, but it's been going super well. I mean, there's a lot of work left, right? But I think that we got what we needed from the tech preview, and it wasn't a complete meltdown, which is, you know, always a good thing.
Well, that's always good to hear.
But the team is working really hard to try to hit potentially a patch soon
4.7
with crafting,
release.
which you know, I really believe that crafting is such a big step for Star Citizen.
So
as a
please don't
whole.
rush it. Please don't rush it.
You know, it's just it will be a different game with the crafting
Yeah,
system
but
in
please
place.
don't
And
rush
so,
it. Take your time.
the work that those teams are doing right now to bring this to life is incredible. I think that we're leveraging the technology that we have to, you know, be able to create runtime items with different, you know, properties and things like that. And so far, the first tech preview has been surprisingly solid and a success, I would say. And so now we're writing the
That's not
coattails
bad,
of that
though.
tech preview to, you know, try to see for a launch window for crafting.
And
Not
you
bad.
can't
That-
have
that's it
crafting without the
soon.
inventory
It's soon.
rework.
Correct. That's right.
And that we I rarely ask a question I don't know the answer to already. The inventory rework is in the same tech preview, right?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
The inventory. Wait. So they've tested crafting, but they didn't test the inventory rework. And we can't get crafting until we get the inventory rework. This is not sounding good because the inventory rework that I saw made my brain melt.
So you can't have crafting without the inventory rework, but the tech preview for crafting doesn't have.
Technically, you can. They can be.
It would just be really bad.
Exactly. It's more from a game design point of view.
Oh man.
But the inventory work is going really well. I mean, some of the people have been reposting screens recently on the original concept, right? That was shown. I mean,
They better
starting to look
simplify.
like that, so that's really good.
It's starting to look like that?
We're hoping very soon because, like,
That's
at
so
this
messy.
point, every version that I've seen is fully functional, and so we just really want to solve one thing. This is one, and you say quality of life. Like if I have a third one to add to my list, right? The speed of rendering of icons in the inventory, right? And so, like right now, you open your inventory and there's always
It takes a second and then you see everything.
rendering RTT, like the.
Oh my goodness, bro. It feels like if you've played Arc Raiders, you know that when there's this skill that lets you render and see what's in backpacks, if you kill a raider, if you open like something to search in, there's an actual thing that locks the speed your game renders in the icons in a freaking container. That's what it feels like. It feels like something is blocking me from actually rendering things fast. That is just, bro. It's like you're just vomiting in your mouth over and over again for like 10 seconds, sometimes a minute.
The render to texture icons for each of those. Now, in case you don't know, this is a full 3D scene that gets rendered flat right there. Like we have versions of this in previous concepts where it's full 3D. It's, you know, super nice, but
Takes forever to load.
the user experience is not great, right? And no matter the amount of work we're going to put on the UI and the functionality of inventory, the speed of the UI is really a thing that we need to improve. And so that's the part that we're
it's very
still
slow.
iterating on now. We've done massive improvements, but there's still, you know, we need to dial that in perfectly because that's the part we really want to solve.
But you feel good about it.
I feel good about it. Yeah, absolutely.
You feel good enough to
Give us a
say
date.
4.7 in March?
I think so.
Okay.
The camera, when he says
Okay.
that, you gotta put the camera on him. No, you look at the camera.
Okay, so 4.7.
I think inventory is going to be in 4.7. I think so.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
You're going to put the small text after this, right?
Inventory rework.
This is live, baby. No small text.
Oh,
And
that's
so
scary.
Inventory rework is 4.7. I'm not going to push you on crafting. It's a super
Oh,
complicated
that's
thing
actually
or
scared.
whatever,
I'm
The
scared,
teams
man.
are
That's
working
scary.
really hard.
4.7 is going to be crazy.
They're pushing
4.7
really hard
is
to get
changing
crafting to 4.7.
everything.
Yes.
in March.
Yes.
Okay.
No promises.
No, pushing hard is fair. Pushing hard is fair, and it's in line with what I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen. So I won't correct you on that or whatever.
Now we don't know
you're
what
being-
surprises are ahead. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So keep tech previewing. How's instancing going?
Very good, actually.
Ooh, instancing.
We actually had a summit this week about instancing. About
Y'all went to a
getting all of the
mountain?
levels set up to support it.
To talk about instancing?
At this point, so maybe I can do a quick recap on what we've discussed in instancing before. So we talked about server meshing, right? So instancing is basically an additional system
Level.
on top of server meshing, which allows us to take an area of space and give it to a server in the mesh to manage, right? Doesn't matter which one. The geographical, if I want, the spatial position of this thing doesn't matter, right? So for example, when you go to your hangar right now, that is an instance, right? So
Yeah, that's what we
we're
knew,
doing
yeah.
is we're taking this system that manages this and we're making a true instance manager with it. So We currently have the backend service completed for this. And so what that provides is the mechanism for creating an instance that you that is associated with you or your party, and having, you know,
And only you
rules
can
for
get
how
there.
many, this instance is made for how many players, enforcing player caps and party caps for that instance, managing the life cycle of the instance. So, hey, we want, you know,
For
go back
20
to my WoW
mi-
days. I mean, yeah, maybe that's dated now, but like,
want it for like
your
20,
molten
30
core
minutes.
instance lives for 10 days, right? So the instance manager is in charge of doing that. So that system's in place now. And so the teams are currently working at how the entrance to the instance is going to work.
Ah,
So-
right. Yeah, how it's gonna work in the persistent universe. And I feel like if they do this instance, they could potentially do org meetups and hangouts with instancing.
Well, we know how it's going to work, but like how it ties into level. So level designers put in, you know, an entranceway.
door or
At
whatever,
what
then,
point
yeah,
are you crossing the boundary? What
to get
brings
into
you
an
to the instance? What
instance.
brings you out?
Right.
Transport is a requirement for instancing, so just ties into all the discussions.
Yeah,
we
you gotta
just
get
had.
into
like
an
transit
elevator or
cannot bring you
something.
to an instance, but transport can.
Port could be, yeah.
So basically, we want to power that up there. So
So we can't
you
get
can
down till
imagine,
transport's in.
an area of space that you walk into through a SAS or an elevator or
And
a
then
transit
now
train.
it's just yours.
And when you come out, you're in the instance, but you don't even see.
you
never
don't
see
see
that,
it, you
like,
don't get,
demarcation.
it's never
Exactly.
told
Exactly.
to you, yeah.
Now you're inside the instance. You play inside the instance. You can gather items, inventories, whatever, boss fights, etc.
And then
you
once
can
you
exit
leave-
to another transit link, and that's it. You're back in the world.
So if we do this right, you should never
Even know.
be aware that you.
Yeah.
We might have to put some kind of indicator on there because of
Yeah.
like raid locks or whatever. We know we talked about municipal works,
Correct.
you know, and like this. So we might have, there might have to be some UI stuff that to tell you to.
Yeah, some screens will show you like, oh, you can't enter this
Yeah.
because
But from an
something like that.
experience, we're not. It's there's no load screen. There's
no load
there's
screen, yeah.
Hold on, please wait. You're transferring you to
Right.
you know
To
whatever.
instance, yeah.
Like you see, it's just you're gonna go and suddenly the world around you is going to melt away, and you will be in a section of the universe
That
that
is
is
yours.
dedicated entirely to you and your party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To play it, right? And then, you know, we're also talking about at the moment how the instance manager responds to the mission system, because we might want to be able to change what level you're going into when you pass the threshold or things like that. And so, or the access rights, right? So if you think back, man, I keep going back to WoW. This sucks, but whatever. In the good old WoW days, you know, you need to do lower Blackrock Spire, and at some point, someone has a key. That's the requirement that unlocks upper Blackrock Spire. Well, we're thinking about mechanics in that vein that allow the mission system to lock or unlock or the access rights to an
Right.
instance. And so all of this is currently being
So you
managed.
can
It's going
work
really
your way
well.
up.
Most of the
Oh.
networking capabilities that we needed have been added already. So one of them is that currently when you go to your instance, the way the server actually tracks that is we put a flag on your character that enables you to stream in your hangar and actually view your hangar when you go there. And we remove that flag when you leave
When
it
you
or when you
leave.
go elsewhere when the hangar is removed. And so in the code up to now, we only had the ability for a single one of those on your character. So we can only give you access to one instance. But we need to be able to give you multiple access to
Accesses
multiple
around.
instances, because we might have areas of transit that cross like one instance to another instance. Things like that.
yeah.
We're going a bit deep with this, but at the moment those mechanics are ready, so the networking
Oh,
is
so
done.
they're
So
they're
now
ready.
we're really about crafting the first experience that we want to do with instancing.
So basically, what you're saying is something big is coming. Some narrative, story, event, sandbox, like something big is coming, and that's what they're saying right now. Something huge is on the way.
And the first instance content will be Siege of Orison. We announced that.
Redux.
Siege of Origin Redux. Ooh, c'est en France.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bringing back
you
the
know,
Siege of
right,
Orison. I never got to play
That's
that.
scheduled to come online. We talked about it during CitizenCon Direct. That's one of the content drops that are scheduled for this year.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play that, so that's nice. I
basically
get to
everything you
finally
should-
play it.
We've been talking more about a schedule than I probably intended at the beginning of this thing. But everything you saw,
just talk about stuff.
Sorry, everything that you saw at CitizenCon Direct last year is scheduled for 2026.
So it's coming.
And we announced at the beginning of the year with the first ISC that we've now moved to a bi-monthly. That's once
Yeah,
every 2 months.
once every 2
For
months.
those who like homonyms. Content thing. So if you know the first one was in January, We've already stated the second
Next
one's
is gonna be
in
March.
March. The third one will be
May.
in May. There's always a patch in May for very important reasons. So forth and so forth. So when you it's one of those things where when you look at the content for CitizenCon Direct, you can sort of start to reverse engineer where things go. I'm not going to tell you. I'm saying you've got the tools. You've got the tools. You can pretty much kind of gather where everything is going to be. And I'd like to see your schedules. And that's just content. That's just the content stuff. So that's really what we talked about at Citizen.
I can tell you,
August
like,
features.
from being with the team this week, working on instancing, everybody's like super stoked. Like it's like the energy is really hot.
Instancing changes a lot of things. I feel like instancing is like it changes a lot of things, and also it gives you a little bit of peace of mind, because there's many times where I go into a Hathor location, or you go into a Onyx facility and you see other players and you're not expecting them, and you shoot someone by mistake or you kill someone by mistake, and it's like there's a lot of peace of mind, and also there's going to be more peace of mind with people who are intentionally going places to try and kill you, especially when you're doing things that's like a narrative story. I don't want to be doing a narrative story where I'm getting all these voice lines, I'm investigating, doing all of these things just to be raided by a bunch of pirates or raided by people trying to just grief people. I want to be able to play this whole narrative through and enjoy the storyline the way it was intended, and not have to be, oh, I just got killed by another player. Oh, someone blew up my shit. Oh, someone did this, someone did that. And it's like, it'll give you that little peace of mind. So I do really like the idea of instancing, but very, very limited instancing, so the world still feels like cohesive, you know?
On like, oh man, you know how you enter it, how you exit it, what gameplay is going to be in it. There's also a big piece of this, which is like some designers, you know, in this case, can design an experience that is repeatable. Most of the content we've produced this year was, you know, there's a PvE experience for it, but it's fundamentally in a PvP
zone.
So that is giving them those tools to make something that's fun and repeatable as an experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just, the energy is really good.
I want to inject something.
Okay, let's go.
Something we haven't talked about. It came from the chat. It came from the chat. Regional servers.
Yeah.
Regional servers. We have never had a conversation
About
in
regions.
any way,
Sure.
shape, or form about regional servers. It was there in the chat and whatnot. I think I'm going to put you on the spot.
What are they asking?
It just says regional servers when. Just what can we do to help the people who play in the various regions of the world have a better experience? Is that the answer? Is regional? I guess what I'm asking is regional servers the answer, or is there some? Or are we going towards something?
Don't we
else
already
that
have
literally
regional
never has to do
servers?
that?
Well, I don't know in this case if they're asking for what I think they are, but let's talk about regions.
Okay.
So we already have regions, right? So when you play the game, you can pick
Yeah, what
one of
region
the
you playing?
global availability regions that we service. So obviously the US, North America is one, the Europe is one. We have East Asia, Australia, I forget the other ones, but I think we have another one. So typically we look at user data, right? And if an area reaches critical mass, right, at some point, then it's worth it to deploy shards there. So, and have shards hosted in that region. So we do it like between US and EU. Obviously, they share our common backend. So your inventory system is hosted in one central area.
Okay,
But then the
right.
actual game servers you're playing on for latency reasons is going to be closer
Closer to you.
your area. Right now, you know, we are revisiting our region kind of distribution for a couple of reasons. Like we've done some pretty large, without naming any details here, but we're in the process of doing some pretty large migrations, you know, in how we host the game. So there's, even if it's a bit transparent, there is a lot of changes happening there. And so we are revisiting our region map kind of at the moment. But typically the way that we've done this is we look at player data, and if we reach critical mass in an area, then it's worth it to start deploying some shards there.
And the short version of that is you're currently undergoing conversations about where.
Yeah, we're looking at that because we've done some changes, so we have access to more regions than we used to. So we're looking at that, but I can't promise any changes. Again, it's completely based on player using
Activity, right?
VR kind of came out of. I mean, it's one of those
Yeah,
things we've been
VR
talking
came
about
out of
it.
nowhere.
We talk about it here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. We've talked about a lot of things over the years.
I mean, we used to have VR in 2014.
VRs existed in
I say the
2014?
Air quotes. Air quotes. Please.
That's like saying I'm a
Nah, there was no VRs when I was 14. 2014, I would have been a 14-year-old. Ain't no way there was VR when I was 14. I started hearing about VR when I was like 16. Wait, VR was around since I was 14? Ain't no way.
baseball player because I played a couple little league games. Let's look out
A
for that.
long time ago.
A long time ago.
I think it was Oculus Dev Kit 1.
Yes.
Is what was supported at the time.
Yes.
Anyway.
And I used it for 45 minutes and ended up in the fetal position for the next 3 hours. VR. is
Yeah,
not
early
for me.
VRs
I'll
were
preface
killing
this by saying
people's
VR
brains,
is not for
right?
me. But it's for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's for a lot of people. And at the end of last year, surprise, a not a fully blown or fully cooked, fully developed feature like we would normally refer to them. Some how do we refer to it? An experimental feature of VR. Where did this come from? What's going on?
Yeah, it just
and do
popped
it without
out.
saying the word Santa, Sylvan.
No, sure. Yeah. Well, so there are a lot of developers at CIG that really like immersive experience and work, right? And so there's a contingent of developers, also one specific one that have been really trying to get the Star Engine to properly support VR. As an experiment and to build that, these guys and I'm gonna Sylvan in specific has been really pushing hard to try to get Star Engine to work in VR. Experimented with multiple different approaches, over the last couple of months. Settled on the OpenXR approach, and was actually able, through his own passion and then support from his other colleagues, right, to get stuff fixed so that we could support VR in specific cases. And so that's how we decided at some point, hey, you know what, like this is actually pretty cool. Let's release it, right? Like we have a unique chance at CIG to be able to work on a custom engine and working on custom technology. And so encouraging that effort, we decided to release an experimental mode to see.
And that's what all these other dog crap games don't have. You're not working on an experimental engine and you don't have your own free will. You are freaking shackled by the limitations of Unreal Engine, of Unity, of like GNU. Is it GNU or something, whatever it's called? You're all limited.
Let's see if people like it. And the response has been pretty
Yeah, people love, bro.
overall.
When the
I
Steam
think that
frames
it's
come out,
the results that we're able to get in VR are a testament to some of the decisions over the years that were taken and how the game has been made. And so there's a lot of little things that just shine when you now put the VR headset on that, maybe if you're playing just on a PC, you're not going to appreciate as much. But, and I'm going to call Chris Roberts here, but Chris, always insisted on taking the difficult approaches to build certain features, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that you're
really
like,
interested
oh, we could have done simpler on this one. But we did the hard road and we actually delivered.
and it delivers
so now.
now.
When you put the VR headset on, well, you've got reverse IK in the seat, right? And it's the kind of thing that now all these decisions.
And that's what it is. I feel like if you do things the harder way, sometimes it's like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass, obviously, but when it starts paying off in the end, like near the end road, it's like, this was a lot better. Like, it's like when you're cooking a dish, you can just slap it all together. But if you do it properly, you measure out all your ingredients, you're going to get a nicer tasting dish. It might take you maybe an hour longer to get it done, but the dish is going to be a lot nicer. And I feel like that's what Star Citizen is. It's a whole load of hard decisions where it's like, we could have done this easier, but we wanted to make it foolproof. And I feel like that's what's going on here. So I can't wait until I can experience VR.
Have paid off in this VR.
It was a pain in the ass in 2017.
Yeah.
When poor Evo was was on it, and now so many years later, it's like, oh,
yeah,
that part was plug and play because of it.
Yeah, and I mean even internally, the arrival of VR even before the experimental mode was shipped was, tremendous. Like I spent, a couple of hours here around our VR rigs next to my sim rigs with the ship team going like, oh, I want to see my ship in VR. Let's go. And then, because designing for VR is a bit different. Like
I want to see one spirit in VR.
That's really truly an experimental mode that we've been pushing. Obviously, there's a lot more people around Sylvan to help him out. and get this there. But I think that this is a testament to kind of the technical framework that we have at CIG that allows that kind of effort to not go unnoticed and kind of show up in the game.
Chat's currently arguing about whether VR is a low priority or high priority and stuff like this.
I think
the
it's
priority at this point doesn't matter because
it's
it's an experimental mode.
Yep.
It's a bit like eye tracking. It's a bit like all of these side projects, right? Like head tracking, eye tracking.
It's not an
Void,
initiative on the same scale as the inventory rework or as crafting.
Yeah, I feel like they're on their own bracket.
It has not taken a priority over.
Yeah, it's on its own bracket.
Exactly.
I want to take a few questions from the chat right now before we get to it because we're actually doing okay on time here.
All right.
Is the inventory rework, is it just UI or will it actually apply any additional functionality to stacking and unstacking and stuff like that?
There's additional functionality, but obviously the big of the groundwork was the UI, usability. But if you look at the mock-ups, right, you also see equipment. So it's not just inventory, it's actually equipment plus assignment on your character. So the paper doll approach. There's also some other elements like proximity inventories that are part of that, which are...
Finally, they're going to add actual proximity inventory. So you're telling me that if I have a box near me and I open the inventory, it's going to say, oh, the box is 2 meters away from you, or the box is 1 meter away from you. We're going to pop it up. So I don't have to freaking bug my way to getting the box open with the bag, with my inventory. So you can just do it organically. That is chef's kiss. We need that. If I have a box on the floor, if I have a bag on the floor, if I have some dead NPC body, I want to be able to open all of those at the same time and just drag and drop into my box.
Pretty large functionality was, and I think will have an impact. So it's not just UI. There's a lot more client architecture also. The way the UI pulls the data, caches the data, and displays it.